Good afternoon, YouTube. Good afternoon. We are here, man. We just made it to our new pickup. We're here in North Carolina, right around my house, man. I left the those tractors, that load I delivered earlier today. So now I'm just over here now. Let's go check in. Let's go see what we're talking about. Picking up some bricks. But it said something about tarp, but I don't know about tarping. I've never had to tarp bricks before, but maybe. Either way, it'll probably just be the little 4-foot drop tarps. Let's go check in, see what's going on. Look at this place, nice. Oh, look at all the bricks, all the bricks. All right, guys, see you in a bit. All right, guys, we are getting loaded. We are getting loaded. There's some brick up in this over there. Oh, where my gloves at? I think gloves on the other side. Yeah, guys, nice, beautiful day out here in North Carolina, man. Temperature's real nice, real warm, but not too incredibly hot, so it's good. We're just gonna strap these bad boys up and go from there. Strap and go. Well, actually, I don't know if it's strap and go because I don't know if I got to tarp this. The paperwork did say tarp, but I don't know. I've never had to tarp brick before, but let's see. We'll figure this out. But yeah, guys, so you see this is a regular flatbed load. I'm able to put it on the step deck. The load I had before, the one I delivered with the tractors, that's a step deck load. So that's the benefit of having this step deck flatbed. 42 on the bottom feet, 11 up top makes the 53, and just a lot more versatile, man. Like you could pretty much get out of anywhere. You can get loads for step decks, get loads for flatbeds, and just go on. Eventually I want to do a RGN, but for now, yeah, we're gonna stick with the step deck for now, until we could get to a point where we, really get our funds built up nicely to where I could probably just go full independent with my own authority. And at that point, I will be purchasing, because I don't want to rent trailers anymore. I will be purchasing an RGN. But yeah, let's go from there. For now, bro, the step deck, I'm having a lot of fun with the step deck. I love the options, I love the versatility, and I love being able to pick from multiple pools of freight, But let's keep loading. Let's keep getting loaded, guys. All right, guys, we are loaded. I'm strapped up. Still haven't tightened anything yet, though. I was just putting the edge protectors. I put edge protectors on this because the rocks, man, they have like these real jagged edges over here. And even though they're covered in plastic, I still didn't like the way it felt on the strap, so I just took an extra 2 minutes and just added all the edge protectors. Well, guys, look, man, this is what I'm talking about. These portable winches, lifesaver, man, lifesaver. So you see, I already used up all of the winches from the step deck, and I still got some more towards the back, but I can't move that over there because of the wheel. So I need to get some portable winches, and that's what I did, man. I got stuck in a load one time, and I ended up having to use a bunch of 2-inch straps, and then I found out about these portable winches, and yeah, man, lifesaver. I ended up using 1, 2, I think 3 in total. Yeah, I ended up using 3. But yeah, guys, this is where we are right now. Now all we gotta do is just tighten it up and then head on down to New York. Well, head up to New York. up to Long Island and go from there. So let's tighten these things up, guys. Let's tighten it up. Alright guys, we are all done, all secured. We used a few straps, everything nice and tight, edge protectors in place, portable winches in place. Everything looks good, so yeah, let's head up out of here, man. Let's start heading over to New York area. I'm gonna see if I can pass by my mom's house, pick up some food. Cause we in the Bronx over there, and I gotta get to Long Island, so I'm gonna cross through it. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna cross through it, so I'm gonna call my mom and tell her make me some plates of food. Pass by there right quick. But hey guys, see you in a little bit. Going on, guys? Stop to get some fuel real quick. Let's do a quick little load check. Always try to walk around your truck, guys, when you pumping fuel. Just do a little quick walk around, make sure everything's under control. Yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks good. Tires look good. Little tires look good. Definitely gonna go inside, man. I'm a little hungry. Probably grab a quick slice. Okay. So I'm going 600 miles. So let's see how much I'm gonna pump. Alright guys, got some salted peanuts, man. These are the best little snacks right here. And they're mad good, 2 for $1. Man, listen. Those are good. Alright guys, let's get in this truck. Let's keep driving. We still got 6 hours left to drive for the day. And then wake up tomorrow, drive like another 4 hours in the morning, get to Long Island, and then go from there. morning, YouTube. This is now the next day. We made it all the way up to Maryland. We made it to Maryland. So now we're gonna let's do our little pre-trip. I already have everything set in the truck, cleaned up. About to make my coffee in a little bit. But yeah, guys, let's do our little pre-trip, and then let's head up out of here, man. We still got a couple hours left to get to Long Island. A lot of traffic. Oh yeah, there was nowhere to park. This is right at the beginning of the rest area, so you already know we had to park right at the side. Gloves on. Tool at. This bad boy right here. I gotta organize this. Probably do it a little later. I've been taking stuff in and out and I haven't been organizing it good, but I'll do it in a little while. Guys, so you do your pre-trip, do your walk around every morning, man. Every morning, make sure yeah, guys. So every morning, make sure your lights are working, your turning signals are good. Your lights, it'd be little stuff like that the DOT be pulling people over for, you know, at the weight houses. So at least all of those little things, make sure you got them under control. So you don't hear no crazy stuff over here. So navigating through Queens to get over to Long Island. They had the 495. The entrance was closed right out of the Whitestone Bridge, and they made us reroute through a little local street there in Queens. And you know, that was tight as hell over there. So, but we made it. We on the 495 east now, Long Island Expressway. So we get to it now. But yeah, guys, you know, in regards to the topic, you know, I like to talk about driver managers DM a lot, because it's something that I have a lot of experience with. It's something that I've dealt a lot with, and pretty much all my career, from being a company driver to a lease purchase driver, and now at the owner operator stage. You know, seeing the difference between having a driver manager, having a dispatcher, and not having one, it has its ups and downs. You know, not having a driver manager gives you more freedom, lets you actually see the local or see the route, see what you want to take, but it also gives you a lot more responsibility. So a lot of drivers, some drivers don't even want to be able to dispatch themselves, even if the company gives them the option to. They rather just have somebody else do that work for them. They'd rather have somebody else do that leg work, go on the load boards. They just, hey, I want to go that direction, and they'll wait for the DM to call them. The driver manager say, hey, yeah, I got this load, go from here to there, and the driver just accepts either yay or nay, you know. And you know, it's not a bad system as far as like, you know, you are able to not have to worry, because locating freight, connecting the dots, it is extremely time consuming. It takes up a lot of my time. I'm constantly on the load board. I'm constantly looking through internal freight within CRST, and also external freight through the DAT board. It kind of becomes like an obsession. You just always on it, because you're always thinking about the next load and the next load and the next load. It's like that. Sometimes my girl has to be like, yo, put your phone away. Like, that's it. Like, put your phone, you're home, put your phone away, then stop looking at loads. You know, like, just when you're back on the road, you know, you'll figure it out. Because it becomes like deeply embedded in your psyche. You know, you start all you think about is loads. So a lot of drivers don't want that responsibility. They want just somebody, hey, I got this load for you, and you want it, yes or no. But in my opinion, I think that every driver should aspire to want to be their own dispatcher. I really think that dispatching, unless you have a fleet of drivers, you have your own fleet with multiple trucks, and you got a dispatcher, you know, dispatching all of your trucks, I could understand that. But even within that, you know, all right, so you're gonna have all company drivers. And, you know, you can either make a fleet of all company drivers, or you can have a fleet of just owner operators leasing onto your authority. And I talk more from the owner operator side of things, not so much the company driver side of things. From an owner operator side of the thing, like, if I ever have my own authority and I lease drivers onto my authority, they gotta dispatch themselves. Like, there is no dispatching service with me. Like, every driver in my license should be able to self-dispatch. You should be able to connect the dots between point A and point B. You should be able to then also think about and know that head to your next location, and do the time and do the math to see if you're gonna get there before they close, if it's gonna be a layover you're gonna pick up tomorrow morning. Is that load worth waiting till the morning, or was there another load that was a little closer, maybe paid a little less, but you was able to get it today and run the rest of your clock? Those are all things that come with dispatching. Those are all decisions that you have to learn how to make when you are self-dispatching. So I'm not saying in general there should be no dispatchers at all, but I feel like dispatchers don't really play a role when it comes to an owner operator that wants to self-dispatch. Like, if you actually want to self-dispatch, you don't need a driver manager or dispatcher at all. You should either be with a company that gives you access to a load board, right? Or just open your own authority. And again, I'm talking about owner operators. I don't really understand why you would go to a company where they don't have a load board if you own your own truck. That's like the whole point of owning your truck, is to be able to pick and choose what freight you want to take, have that freedom. But you also can't stop just, okay, I'm a truck owner now, I own my own equipment, and that's all I care about. No, you gotta keep growing mentally. You gotta keep expanding your mindset. You gotta keep thinking about what's the next thing that I want to master now. Okay, so I mastered the requirements. I mastered how to drive a truck as a company driver. I know how to turn the truck in tight spaces. I know how to drive in the snow. I know how to drive in the fog. You know, I know how to operate this heavy vehicle, and I know how to navigate through these highways and these US routes and all of that. That's the first stage. Then it's like, okay, now that I did that, now I need to start mastering what does it take to buy a truck. Am I gonna want to stay as a company driver my entire life? If you want to do that, there's no issues with that. But if you're that type of person that just wants to keep evolving and you don't want to just stay stuck, because listen, you could just stay at a job, at a company driver job, where you can make even more money than an owner operator. I've seen company driver jobs, like I know like Walmart, I know like USPS, FedEx, all of these type of jobs. They have great benefits. They have great pay salary. Listen, you can make really good money there. If you're the type of person that just wants to just have your benefits, which benefits is very important to people. I gotta pay for benefits on my own because I don't get any type of benefits, at least I know to CRST. I have to elect the benefit package of my own and pay it out of my pocket separately. But if you want to stay as a company driver, then all power to you. Maybe this is not the channel for you. There are a lot of channels which are company driver oriented. There are a lot of channels I've seen on YouTube where it's like, local hauling, like local work, they get home every day, they drive local and they drive for a company. Because in my opinion, going local, that's where dreams of owner-operators go to die. Unless you're an owner-operator linked in with a local company where you just get local work, then that's understandable, but that's difficult to find that. And even within doing that, you got to be one of the owner-operators that your truck got to be paid off already. Like your expenses have to be low, including a paid-off truck, in order to be able to afford those local freight rates and just do like 1 or 2 little small hops a day and get home every day. For the rest of society, for the rest of us that have to pay a truck note, for the rest of us that have families to maintain and a lot of things to take care of and a lot of expenses, regional or OTR is where you want to go to. This is a regional channel. This is a regional / OTR channel. This is not a channel for local drivers because you're not gonna gain any knowledge from what I'm talking to you about. You're not gonna understand. You're not gonna care about running your clock or care about what time does this shipper close or this receiver open. You're not gonna. It has nothing to do with you at this point. But for regional drivers that want to get home every weekend, which I think that's the best work model. Get home on the weekends and then once in a while do OTR. The guys that do OTR all the time, I feel like you gotta be built a little different for that. It mainly, in my opinion, it mainly works for either a younger person that has no family, or an older person who is either divorced, widowed, or single, but the kids are just all grown up, and all you do is truck. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just letting you know, if you have a family and you want to make money, and your family supports you and what you're doing, and they know you're gonna get home on the weekends, and when you get home, we'll have fun. But when it's time for dad to go back to work, that says it's time for dad to go back to work. Regional route. And then once you pick that regional route, let's start working towards getting rid of a driver manager. Let's start working towards getting rid of a dispatcher, and let's start building up your mindset, your state of mind into let me learn how to self-dispatch. At the beginning, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was booking appointments wrong. I was selecting the freight that I probably shouldn't have selected. I just wasn't doing the lanes correctly because it's a learning curve. It's definitely a learning curve with dispatching. Just like it's a learning curve with learn how to drive a truck. There's a learning curve with dispatching, because dispatching is a whole nother set of skills. Just like there's a lot of truck drivers that can be dispatchers, and there's a lot of dispatchers that wouldn't know the first thing about driving a truck. Now, what I'm trying to push to is how can we make it hybrid? How can we make you a driver that knows how to drive a truck and can dispatch himself? I haven't had a dispatcher in now over close to a year, ever since I left PNS, ever since I signed on with CRST as a lease purchase driver, and then I bought my truck and I changed over to owner-operator, and I decided to stay with CRST instead of going elsewhere. I haven't had a driver manager or dispatcher, whatever. Those two go, it's like, they go hand in hand, they're the same thing. It's just some companies call it differently. Some companies call it your driver manager. Some companies call it your dispatcher. But either way, I'm talking about people selecting freight for you and telling you, okay, go pick up here and drop off there, instead of you doing it yourself. So those are some of the benefits of what I say. CRST, they give you their load board and you gotta figure it out. That's why I say, you know, a lot of people either love CRST or a lot of people hate CRST, because I've seen a lot of drivers fail within CRST because they feel like they don't have the support. They might not be good at dispatching, you know, they might not be good at selecting certain lanes, and then they kind of just get lost in the sauce, you know, and they just, you know, picking back freight after back freight after back freight, going to dead areas, you know, picking a load going to Montana because it's paying a lot from the East Coast, not knowing that you're gonna get stuck out there. You're gonna have bad load coming back, and now you've been away from home for 2-3 weeks. And now that when you actually did the math, it leveled out. It averaged out as if you would have just stood in the East Coast. You would have stood in your coast, taking these runs from here. You know, picking up Monday, dropping up Wednesday, picking up Tuesday, dropping up Thursday, or picking up Wednesday, being back home by Friday. If you'd have just did a bunch of those loads, it would still be more profitable than going all the way to the West Coast with a big load and you coming right back. Because if you go to the West Coast with a big paying load, you gotta stay there for a little bit. You gotta stay within the West Coast and take a load here, because within the West Coast, their loads pay good staying inside of there. But I'm telling you, if you go to the West Coast because you don't know how to dispatch, you see a load going to the West Coast for $6,000 and your eyes light up, but now you want to get back home right away. Now you gotta take a load to the East Coast, from the West Coast to the East Coast for like $3,000. Now you coming back for like $1.50. You get what I'm saying? These are all things about learning how to self-dispatch. I know because I made the mistake. I'm not telling you this because I read it in a book. I literally went through it and I learned from my mistake, and I'm trying to tell you guys how to do it properly. I don't go to the West Coast. I used to go to the West Coast before because just like any new lease purchase person, just like anybody owner-operator, just like anybody just looking at a load board for the first time and seeing those big numbers, your eyes light up like, oh my God, $7,000, let me go to Washington. I'm not saying don't take it, but if you take it, you gotta stay out there, because you're gonna take something coming back for cheap. And now it doesn't average out correctly. And now you haven't been home for weeks at a time. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why a lot of drivers at CRST fail, because they do 2 or 3 of those trips and then they still don't understand why the hell they're negative. Why are my weekly settlements negative? Why do I still owe the money to the company? You know, like, and that's really like that with a lot of lease purchase programs. Like I've said in other videos, lease purchase programs are by nature, you know, predatory lending type of situations. You know, they're predatory because they're focusing on people who don't have the credit score and don't have the money, and they're dangling the truck in front of them, right? And they hit you over the head with all the weekly fees, you know. And I know because I did lease purchase, but like I've said in my previous video about lease purchase, I did lease purchase with a vision of doing it for X amount of time, just to build my business credentials up, give my LLC some 2 years of being in business, have my 1099 set in place, and have my business set in place to then go out and buy a truck. I didn't just do lease purchase just because I love lease purchase. I did it to do it, or neither did I do it with the intentions of actually buying the damn truck. So just some things to consider, guys. But listen, I highly believe in self-dispatching, getting rid of a driver manager, getting rid of a dispatcher, and you select your own freight. And we have that available here at CRST. So like I said before, you know, I'll leave the recruiter information and my driver ID. And guys, like I said a million times, if the information that I provide helps you into making a decision to go to CRST, go to a company that gives you a low board, go to a company that doesn't require you to call a dispatcher and ask him, hey, why you haven't found a load for me? It's been 2-3 hours. If you want that type of freedom, which comes with a lot of responsibility, it ain't sweet, but in my opinion, it's worth it. So I'll put the recruiter information here. I'll put my driver code there, and if my information helps you, then you know I would love for you to use me as a referral. I deeply believe in CRST. I think it's a great company, but I think it's very much a sink or swim place. Like, they're not holding your hands for nothing here. Like, if you need a driver manager, if you need your hands held from load to load, then I don't believe you should come to CRST. But yeah, guys, let's keep rolling, man. We still got an hour to get into we're going to like the end of Long Island, pretty much, right by the water. We still got an hour to get there, and then pick up the next load. We're coming right back out from there, and then let's see. Like I said, I'm gonna pass by my mom's house, get some food real quick, chill out in the Bronx for a little bit. I gotta see, maybe I'll stay there overnight. I don't think so, though. But if not, I'll probably chill for a little while. But hey, guys, I'll see you at the delivery. See how we get this thing. What's going on, guys? We have made it. These guys are fast in here, 2 at a time.